Hello, Greek students. Welcome to week 11 in our class. Here is what we've got going on for this week. We are going to introduce additional adjectives. So previously we've learned about the third declension nouns, and now we're going to take those third declension endings and move them over to adjectives. So just as there are first, second, and third declension nouns, there's also going to be first, second, third declension adjectives. We're also going to introduce what are called contract and liquid, or I call mineral verbs, and you'll see why I call them mineral verbs as you get into the material for this week. So we're introducing these two different categories, and with them there is no new paradigm memorization. Your focus for this week is really going to be on recognition, not on memorization. So you will not be asked in the grammar quiz to supply any different forms. Rather, you're going to be really focused on the grammar of adjectives and of contract and liquid verbs. So the grammar and the syntax. And there are a number of what I call quick quizzes in the lecture videos for this week, where I ask you, as I have before, to answer certain questions on your whiteboard. And I'm giving you the strong hint right now, the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that you should really, really pay attention to these quick quizzes in the lecture videos, because the questions on them just might, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, show up again in some part of the course material for the week. I'm not sure where, but they'll probably show up somewhere. And then as to assignments for the week, we have our first homework is on the first lesson for the week. So it's not going to incorporate contract and liquid verb material. So you can do that one after you have engaged the reading from the first lesson from Black and the first video on additional adjectives. And then with the second homework assignment, we are engaging both adjectives and contract and liquid verbs, but we're really also moving into new territory with respect to how translation assignments will look moving forward for many of the future homework assignments in the remainder of the class. And that is by taking a look at actual New Testament sentences. So you sort of get your hands dirty with real New Testament Greek translations from a variety of different authors and different genres. So a note about that really quickly is that you'll see that oftentimes, and this is following the what David Allen Black does in the grammar, is that you'll have in parentheses the English translation of a word if it's one that you have not learned for the class yet. So sometimes you'll see a word given to you in English in the middle of the Greek translation. And the reason for that is because either the form or the vocabulary has not been learned yet. And then the other note with respect to these New Testament sentences is I strongly encourage you to work with the grammar of the sentence, and don't just rely on the English you already know of the particular passage. What you're going to find is that as you go to these New Testament passages, that once you figure out what's going on there, your sort of English knowledge is going to kick in, and you're going to have a temptation to just sort of go and run with what you already know from the English. But I really want you to pay attention to the Greek grammar and the Greek forms, and sort of how that's going to nuance your English translation. So one of the great things about learning Greek and learning Hebrew is that you sort of get to see the nuances that you miss in an English translation. And when you sort of kick into English mode and just go with the translation you already know, you're going to overlook those nuances that sometimes are really, really beautiful and elegant and really give you a deeper appreciation for scripture. So I encourage you to really focus on the grammar and do your translation not from what you know, but from what you actually see in the assignment. And then going on from that, after you've sort of done your own translation, I do encourage you to look up these verses in a variety of English translations, and you'll be able to see how they do different things with it. And you'll start to be able to see why different English translations have made the respective decisions that they have. That you'll be able to sort of tell what the differences are and why those differences are there, which is a really encouraging thing to be able to do. And then, of course, we have a vocabulary quiz and a grammar quiz. The good news for the grammar quiz is that there is no memorization. I won't be asking you to insert any forms into that quiz. All right, so I will see you either in a synchronous meeting or in your work for the week.